Start recording now. Hi, can you hear me? All right, guys, thank you so much for coming over this morning. Let me introduce myself and my firm and what we do and what we're trying to do here. Uh, we are a law firm based out of India and US, and we are helping a lot of e-commerce players, D2C brands, in their fight against counterfeit. So there's a lot of counterfeit available online. When people are shopping online, they get duplicate products. For e-commerce merchants, you have built a brand, a product, and somebody just copies the brand, copies your product, and starts selling online. So we understood that there's an injustice happening against you if somebody is copying your products. So because of this injustice that is happening against the e-commerce merchants, we have started a movement against counterfeit, against the online counterfeit. And this movement is started by today's event, where we have invited folks like yourself who are selling their products online through e-commerce, and they are facing counterfeits. And we want to understand from you, have a discussion and debate about this topic, about online counterfeit, about how can we together kill the counterfeit. So I would request our speaker, Brandon first, let's say. Brandon, if you can say a few words about yourself, about your journey, and give us your perspective about how are you dealing with the online counterfeit. Brandon, you got to unmic yourself.
Yeah. Hi, is that better?
Yes.
Awesome. So my name is Brandon Ivan Pena. I am the founder CEO of 787 Coffee and Brandon Media here in New York City. We are a from farm to cup coffee experience. We grow, process, and roast coffee in Puerto Rico, and then we distribute directly to our coffee shops both here in Puerto Rico and here in New York. So it's a very interesting topic. Thank you for inviting me. I think the biggest thing for me, at least, is to stay relevant, to stay different, to adapt, to change, and to keep your products, give them a differentiator so it's not easy to replicate. So for us, it's designs. For us, it's the way we design a coffee bag, the way we do our marketing. And we see, even with the name, 787 Coffee was recently purchased by someone in Japan. So all of a sudden we have a 787 Coffee in Japan when we didn't open a coffee 787 Coffee. So by doing, I would say the first thing is to do everything legal, to make sure you hired someone that knows, hire an attorney that actually helps you register the name. If you have to copyright it, do everything legal. Do your research. It takes a day or 2 days to actually understand the basics of having a name that's copyrighted, that's yours, that's registered. And then when it comes to design, the same thing. Make sure you spend the time to understand what are you selling, and understand that if competition can be a really good thing, at least for us it is. If we are doing something right and it's growing, someone will try to copy it. Someone very wise once told me that Apple wouldn't be Apple without Samsung, or vice versa. So we need each other to compete. I believe copying is okay. When you actually steal the product, that's when it becomes a little bit not competitive, and it's hard to fight with.
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for the perspective. Brandon, competition is indeed important. You got to take care of basic things, basic legalities, file your copyright, file your trademarks, and hire a good attorney or a firm that can help you with the counterfeit. Thank you very much. Mike, if you can tell us something about yourself and give your initial thoughts about the topic, the movement against the counterfeit.
Yeah, so my name is Mike Farrell. I'm the CEO of a company called Rosie Rings. We're a consumer products company that does both business to business and direct to consumer sales in the home fragrance and home decor industry. And we make very, very unique product by hand out of Denver, Colorado. And we have seen an uptick of knockoffs and counterfeit items in the marketplace over about the last 4 or 5 years, but specifically the last 2, we've seen a huge increase into it. And, beyond taking the legal steps and the initial steps, like Brandon mentioned, I think that we're all kind of in for basically a real uphill climb here as far as having good, authentic products in the marketplace, because it's so easy to introduce counterfeit products these days, especially with the consumer goods, just because there's so many marketplaces and, there's so many ghost companies where you don't really have to stand by the products anymore. And so if you see something that you think is going to sell really well, or that a brand that's being really successful, it's really, really easy for, a company to knock that off and put it out into the marketplace without actually having to stand by it. So what we try to do at Rosie Rings is, create really, really authentic products that have a really high quality standard. They are, some of the more expensive products in the marketplace, and hope that we can, appeal to the audiences that everybody's trying to sell to by having that high quality standard, where the counterfeiters just really can't, keep up with that. We do welcome competition as well. I think that, the more people that, let's say for candles specifically, the more candles in the marketplace, the more popular they are amongst consumers. So that's kind of, it helps the entire industry. But I think what all of the candle manufacturers have to fight off is the knockoffs. And, I don't necessarily consider that competition. I consider that just, cheap and just, a terrible way to do business.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great. Thank you so much for your perspective, Mark. We will circle back to all of you in the second round. Mark, over to you. If you can tell us about your business and what's your perspective about this movement against the knockoffs?
Yeah, hello everyone. So I work with a footwear brand called UFOS, based here in Boston, Massachusetts. The key with anything is to define your technology and your unique selling propositions, but that's not good enough in this world. Obviously, the disruption it creates from not only just a pricing perspective, but an unsuspecting consumer who sees a relatively good knockoff counterfeit, experiences the brand for the first time and doesn't really know the difference, regardless whether you're lighting a candle and smelling it for the first time, or you're putting on a piece of footwear. That customer hasn't experienced the authentic product, and if they buy into a counterfeit product, obviously you lose that ability to impress them and wow them, as our products, I'm sure for all of us on this call, can deliver. So, I think the main thing for us is we all know it exists. It's finding the source. It goes beyond, who you sell to and where you distribute to. It's this replication. We know there's a lot of bad players out there, but from a legal perspective, I think we all collectively want to understand truly how you can enforce, go after them, and find the source. The proverbial horse is out of the barn by that point. We see it across all marketplaces. Amazon's good when we do test buys. They will remove those pairs, but we don't know where they go after that. They'll end up on eBay or Poshmark or any of the other open marketplaces, either here in the States or, globally. So, I think those are the things that we'll all be most interested to find out from a legal perspective. What truly can you do from an investigation of the source, and then ultimately the takedown and hopefully the destroying of this counterfeit product. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. We will tell you in a bit what in this movement, what role are we playing. Thank you so much, Mark, for joining in tonight, to the morning. So it's night in India. Kate, good morning. Tell us something about yourself and your view about this movement.
Hi, so I, like Mark, am with UFOS. So similar to what he just said, I think, but in addition, building to what Mark said, also understanding, there's an issue with counterfeit product. I think there's also an issue with brands' identity getting stolen, and just fraudulent sites where they're just purely stealing credit card information without actual counterfeit product even, which has become a bigger issue as well, which then impacts not only our customer experience, but also our digital marketing, the spend trying to combat them that way. So it's trying to get a better understanding for me from the brand perspective of how do we protect more of our brand, more so right now than the counterfeit product issue.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, Kate. Ranesh, good morning. If you can unmic yourself and tell us something about yourself and your thoughts about the movement.
Sure. Hi, everybody. So my name is Anish Bajaj, and I'm a co-founder of a company called Fasciculus. On Fasciculus, Fasciculus actually means package, and we've been in the anti-counterfeit movement for more than 20-25 years. We work in diverse markets in India, Middle East, Africa, also the UK now, not in the US as yet. But our fight against counterfeiting is we work with the government. For example, in India, you see a lot of tax stamps on liquor. You know, the most counterfeited products are luxury goods or liquor in terms of refilling. So we work with state governments on all the tax stamps that they come. And we work with large industrial companies like paint companies. We work with one of the largest paint companies who have, diversion issues where the stock may not actually be fake, but would be diverted from one market to the other to get benefits of different, differential pricing between markets. So we help companies sort those out. And basically what we do is we are able to put some indelible marks or some marks onto the packaging itself, wherein before you open the product, the consumer is able to identify that it's a genuine product. And, Amit, just to keep you informed, our solution is also admissible directly in a court of law. And we've got it vetted from different law firms in different countries. So you don't need to physically or, forensically check the product. If our mark is counterfeited, that is admissible directly in the court of law as an admission of counterfeit. Yeah, pleasure to be with all of you today. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Ranesh. Thank you very much. I'm glad you are working in this field from last many years and helping kill the counterfeit. We will definitely require your help in this movement. Ellie, if you can introduce yourself and give us your view on this topic.
Hi everyone. I'm Ellie.
Hi.
I'm actually with the same organization as Mark and Kate, so I would pretty much just reflect their sentiments on what we're hoping to learn. But yeah, I could also add, beyond just the brand identity protection and then the actual counterfeits, also how it's impacting social media and how social media is used to spread the false messaging. So yeah, happy to be here.
Oh, wonderful. We have 3 people from UFO. Wonderful. Thank you so much, guys. So let me tell you what we are doing in this field, in this movement. So over the last few years, guys, so apart from the law firm, we have a software team which has developed a fabulous software which crawls across the web, understand the counterfeits which are being sold, detect the counterfeit, and give the listings to us. So for a lot of our clients, let's say bitten.com, if you just go to Google, let's say if I share my screen with you, what we did for Bitten here. So there is a company called Bitten in the US. They sell this iWatch jewelry. Now this iWatch jewelry is very famous, and the name of the founder is Jody. So Jody is the founder of Bitten. So she makes this fabulous iWatch jewelry. You see this paws, these studs here, and she was selling these stuff for $40. This paws and these jewelry, which makes your iWatch more beautiful. Now she came us a couple of years back, and she was struggling with counterfeit. So her studs here, her paws here, being sold for $35, and there were rip-offs being sold for $3. For $2 in China, on Alibaba, on Amazon, on Etsy, on 1688. There are about 500 plus listings which were fake, and she was just selling on Amazon, Etsy, and her own website. When she came to us about 2.5 years back, that we were primarily IP lawyers. When she came to us that she's struggling with this, we understood the gravity of the situation. We understood how deep this problem is. And then we built a software which crawls across the web, understand the fake listing being used, the trademark button being used, the pictures of this iWatch jewelry being used, the corporate infringement happening, the trademark infringement happening, and our software was able to crawl across the web, understand the detections, and then we worked with all these Alibabas and eBays and Etsy and other platforms to take down the listings in 3 days. After we understood the problem, we started a movement against the counterfeit. In this movement, we are trying to get folks like yourself and make you aware what is the injustice happening and how can we shut it down. So my first question will be for Brandon. Brandon, you sell fantastic coffee. You are a very famous person in 787 Coffee, and your brand goes across the world. So apart from hiring an attorney, so what other actions are you taking? What other things are you doing to kill the counterfeit, to curb the counterfeit?
We are alert. We are very vigilant of what's happening. Like someone mentioned, social media really helps. Using our hashtags, the hashtags that we've created, and we constantly monitor to see what's being offered under our name, that really helps us understand what's happening. For our industry, for coffee, we're actually privileged and happy to have them copy, because that means we're doing something right. When it comes to something serious like Japan opening a coffee shop by the name of 787 Coffee, or we've seen a lot of Spanish translations like 787 Café or Café 787, which is the same thing, they just translate different languages. We're growing. We were named by Financial Times as the #2 growing company in the food and beverage. So we know there's attention, and we know there's people getting involved. We saw Starbucks doing something very similar to what we do. What we do is very specific. So we, instead of buying coffee from someone else and reselling, we purchased a farm. So we grow coffee here in the US. 99% of the coffee that we consume in the US comes from Colombia, Brazil, or Vietnam. So the fact that we have a farm, yes, you can copy the logo, the name, the colors, the brand identity, but you can't really copy the flavor or the origin of coffee unless you're willing to buy a coffee farm and put the 3 to 5 years of investments into time and agriculture and farmers and learning of the growing, processing, and roasting. So in our case, it's more the cups, it's more the quotes, it's more the hashtags. It's trying to steal the traffic digitally to take them to their websites. What do? We stay alert, and then we immediately find it. So being responsive and then being aware that there is a problem and being aware that digitally people can take a lot of your ideas. But then again, we evolve. I really believe that a company that's stuck in the same thing and the same mantras and the same vision the whole time, it's gonna die. We looked at Blockbuster, a very famous video company that died because they didn't follow, they didn't listen, they didn't evolve. And then we had Netflix that wanted to be a part of Blockbuster, and everyone laughed at them. They continue to grow. So what do we envision? We envision a company that continues to evolve, to continue to listen to customers, that is aware of counterfeit and copying and stealing. But we continue to move. We continue to develop recipes. Like I was saying, I went to Starbucks and I realized they're doing a whiskey infused. We started doing a rum infused years ago. So instead of taking it like, oh, they're copying our product, they evolved, they made it different. It's great. We're doing something right, because if Starbucks is doing an infusion of flavors, just like we are, that means we're doing something right. And we're not going to fight it. We're actually talking about it and making it public. We did it before they did many years ago.
Wonderful. So one point that Brandon is focusing on is innovation. You got to keep innovating to be far ahead of your competition against the knockoffs. And also one wonderful thing he said, people can copy your product, they can't copy your passion, they can't copy your energy, they can't copy your enthusiasm, they can't copy the actual authentic flavor. In case of coffee, it's the flavor. In case of, let's say, candles, which Mike is selling, the authenticity. So they can copy some stuff, but they can't copy it all. It will always be a poor, cheaper version, cheaper, inexpensive, a knockoff, which won't be anywhere close to your product. So keep innovating. Somebody can copy only some things, but not everything. Somebody can copy this shirt or let's say Brandon's jacket, but he can't really copy the muscle that he has built over the time. So that's what Brandon is trying to say. Great, thank you so much, Brandon. That's a great tip. Innovation is definitely a key. So Mike, I have seen your products. I will show it to everybody. So Mike is selling fantastic candles. And these candles are actually quite interesting and also quite expensive. And these are being built. It takes about days to build these candles. So these candles sometimes take days. It's mentioned on his website. For example, this candle, if you look at, it can take a few days to build this candle. It has flowers. It has a lot of fragrance inside. A lot of effort goes behind making such products. So there's also a brick candle which I loved, Mike. I must acknowledge that. Yeah. So these things take a lot of time and effort and enthusiasm to build. What are you? So when you see products being copied online, let's say Alibaba has it or a Etsy has it, what's your emotion? What do you feel like doing?
Well, I think with anything, it's a mixed emotion, because part of you is like, okay, well, we're doing something right. So I agree with Brandon in that sense, where it's, copying somebody's like, you should kind of be flattered when that happens, right? Because like, okay, they think that we're doing something right in the marketplace, so much so that they're putting efforts in it to try to, take some of those sales away from us. But the other side of that is you get a little bit frustrated because, we've put in the year's worth of R&D into this product. We've put in all of the passion, all of the effort, all of the time. We took the risk of bringing a product that nobody's seen before to the marketplace. And so I think it's hard not to get a little bit frustrated when you see something like that. But in my experience, most of the items that we see come to the marketplace through these ghost companies or the direct knockoffs, they are not near the quality that we produce, right? And they're not near the price point. I think that the average consumer would be able to see that when you get an Instagram ad for a Rosy Rings candle and you see an $80 price point, and then one of these counterfeit producers comes back and mirrors our audience or mirrors our ads that we're trying to create and get in front of people, and they see a similar looking candle for $20, surely the average consumer can say like, okay, there's got to be a difference there, right? The few that can't are going to get a candle that's much, much lower quality and likely not even made out of natural botanicals. I think that beyond the counterfeit products that we're seeing hit social media, I also think that some of the big box stores are welcoming bringing counterfeit items to the marketplace. For instance, one of the candles you just showed had natural botanicals that had been dried and pressed between two glass panes as the lid. We call that our pressed flower candle. Recently, we saw those in Target, but instead of it being dried botanicals that were pressed between two glass lids, it was vinyl stickers. And so whereas that candle probably retails for us anywhere between 36 and 54, at Target, it was 26. And so, significantly cheaper, but you might get the same aesthetic from far away, but it's not the same product, right? It doesn't have the same passion. It's cheap. You can tell that it's made, probably in a Chinese factory somewhere. It's not made by hand. It doesn't take days to produce. And so I think that one of the things that we really want to do and communicate to our audience is, the passion that goes into it, the effort that goes into it, the artistic ability that goes into all of these things, and have them appreciate that, right? We're very transparent with what goes into our candles. We don't try to make it seem like they should be cheaper than they are. We know that they're expensive, and we want to tell people why they're so expensive. And in my opinion, they're well worth the money because you get that high quality product. And, I think the more that we can communicate that to the audience, the harder it is for these counterfeit products to succeed in the marketplace.
Yes, absolutely. So Mike, any estimate, any idea how many fake listings are out there who are making similar candles?
Less now than there were 2 years ago, probably. We have taken some steps, having some web crawling third-party services crawl around Amazon and other marketplaces and, find these items. We take efforts to, be careful where we put our brand. make sure, I think I mentioned earlier or in another call that, we used to not sell to a lot of Asian marketplaces because they were known for finding those products and then knocking them off, right? But anymore, it doesn't really matter because they're ordering them online anyway. So it's changed a lot over the course of the last 5 years. But I probably, serious competition, I would say that, a couple of the big box stores such as Target that are knocking us off would be the most concerning to me. Other than that, there's probably a handful, maybe less than a dozen small companies, ghost companies that are putting out counterfeit products that you can't actually tie back to any real brand. And then there's maybe 3 or 4 that we can actually tie back to real brands that, we are in contact with, asking them to, do their own creative. Quit riding on our coattails.
Sure. Do you have any estimate on the amount that you're losing every month because of the knockoffs?
I don't off the top of my head. I want to say that it's not cannibalizing ourselves too terribly bad because they are so different. People are trying to knock us off at a much lower price point than what they're able to. Like I said, with stickers instead of real botanicals, or with much smaller products or a lot lower quality wax or fragrance oils or whatever it may be. So I assume that, there's a fair amount of customers that are ordering those lesser products and getting them and associating it with Rosy Rings and being like, well, I'm never going to order from that brand again. And, we've lost a customer at that point, but I don't know what that number actually is.
Sure. I will come back to you and tell you how do you estimate that.
Okay.
My next question will be to Mark from UFO. Okay, I guess Mark is not around. Ellie, you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, wonderful. So next question is for you. It'll be great if you can put your video on. Yes. So you know what? There's a concept in philosophy. Let's say when there were even today, so there are a lot of knockoffs of Nike, Adidas, and let's say of Gucci or let's say VSL, YSL, and these people say that we don't really worry about the knockoffs because the people who are buying the knockoffs are not their target client. Somebody who is buying a fake Gucci or a fake Salvador or a fake Louis Vuitton, they're not the clients because they are not that league. So even let's say my Microsoft's MS Word Office was being copied and there were a lot of piracy against the software. Microsoft was not going after the people who were using the pirated version of the software. What's your view on this philosophy?
Well, to be honest, I think it has some merit. It depends on how premium the product is. I would say like the more premium, the probably less. I mean, it's so hard to combat once you're at a certain size or a certain luxury because there's just huge masses of people that it's inaccessible. So I think it has some merit. I think it's just really a call that a brand has to make based on, where they're at in their growth stage.
Mm-hmm. So who are your target audience? What are your price points? What is your customer persona?
Yeah, it varies somewhat depending on which channel we're talking about. And then we are a premium product, so our price doesn't change very often. We're not very promotional.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How do you target your clients online? Do you do ads on social media?
Yeah, we use all channels essentially. There's not any that we're not active in, mostly.
Mm-hmm. So what is your ROAS, return on ad spend?
Yeah, it depends really. Sometimes it's seasonal and it depends on the channel.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
and I can jump in for all I meant, UFO. Some of that, I mean, it's information we're not going to share. We're a private company, so just more high level, I think questions are probably better for us.
Okay, sure. Any perspective you want to give here based upon these questions, or anything else you want to share based upon what is being shared by Mike and Brandon?
No, just more. Yes.
Okay. So what steps are you taking, Kate, for fighting the counterfeit?
Yeah, I think, we're trying to do as much as we can proactively and legally, and working with our partners to try to, combat these and educate our consumers just more about the OOFOS brand, so they're clear what is or is not something that would be fraudulent.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And what is your view on this philosophy that folks like Nike, Adidas, or other companies are following, that if somebody is buying the knockoffs, they probably are not with the customer profile. They're not probably the customer persona that they were looking for.
I don't think they would know. You never know who, being to Ellie's point, being that we're at a higher price point, someone might be prohibited from purchasing OOFOS and might take advantage of a sale, or what they think is a sale or think is a lower price product, or they might, someone who already knows the brand might take it as an opportunity and think it's an opportunity to stock up on a product they love. So I think you do have to be concerned about that.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any estimate, Kate, on how many fake listings are there which are selling your shoes?
Nope.
No. Okay. All right. No problem. Steve, over to you. If you can give us your view on this topic, and how are you dealing with counterfeit?
Yeah, I think Ellie and Kate covered it, pretty well for us. I think the number one thing is you have to try to find where the source is. So a lot of times we will hire a legal entity who's an expert in trademark infringement, who can actually figure out how we can trace the product. It's really hard to do. We have had situations as well where the U.S. government has confiscated counterfeit OOFOS product at the border. But with our product, it's hard to determine between a counterfeit and non-counterfeit. Plus the fact we're young, so this affects us more than it does a Nike or a Gucci or those types, because they've been around for a lot longer. So people are just learning about us. We don't have high awareness. So for us, as Kate said, it's very concerning, and it's something that, we take very, very seriously. But you have to try to find the source as best you can, and then, figure it out. We've worked with, some of our retail partners and Amazon and Google to try to find out who these folks are. Obviously, again, it's very difficult, but.
Okay, great. Let me just show you something here, which will tell you how to estimate the amount of counterfeit available online for your product. And this will open your eyes. So we have a client called Tokidoki, and I will show you something here. Okay. Yes. So let me just share my screen now. So our client Tokidoki, they sell Japanese products online. A lot of Japanese accessories in the US. They sell these unicorns, these toys, and these products, these bags for kids. And when they came to us to fight counterfeit, they had no idea how much is being copied. They had no idea about the gravity of the situation. And we prepared this report for them. 1 second. We prepared this report for them. If you can see this report, our engine crawled for 2 days, and 2 days we searched a lot of platforms. We searched 1688, Alibaba, AliExpress, Amazon, a lot of places in India, Vietnam, China. We detected in the US there are 1,000 fake listings. In China, there are 500 plus fake listings. In Asia, 500 plus fake listings which are selling Tokidoki. Then we also gave them a list of fake listings. So when you click on any of these fake listings, if you click on this listing, now this guy is selling a Tokidoki fake product for 10 pounds, and it has sold 1,800 times, and it's a fake listing. If you keep adding $10 or 10 pounds into 1,800, you will get the damage you are getting, which this product is causing to your business. Similarly, if you click on, let's say, a second fake listing on Redbubble, and this product here, Redbubble, again is being sold for $20. This t-shirt is being sold for $20 by Tokidoki, but it is not by Tokidoki. And if this product has been sold multiple times, you can estimate what's the damage you are facing due to these counterfeit. Now, if you look at Tokidoki's report that we built for them, it has 1,000 plus counterfeits. Just in 2 days, we were able to find out these data for them. How it works is our engine crawls across the web, check the trademark infringed, check who are using your images, because most counterfeits would pull out the image from your own website. In case of Mike, also, I'm sure, although they might be selling substandard candles, but they would most likely be using Mike's images, which Mike has spent a lot of thousands of dollars perhaps on a photo shoot to get the right image on the website, and somebody just picks up the image, put on their website, and sell the fake product. The actual product will be of much low quality, but the image has been picked up from Mike's site, just like people are picking up the images from different sites. And picking up an image is copyright infringement. And guys, the best thing is, copyright does not need registration. If you just put the image on your site, it is automatically a copyright. You do not have to spend a single penny on filing a copyright, because copyright is an implicit right. So even if somebody is not using your brand, so trademark you have to file explicitly, to file in every country, to file in US, Japan, China, wherever you have clients in. But copyright is not required. You put your image on the site and it's automatically copyrighted. What I want to tell you today is, go after the counterfeit based upon copyright infringement, because it's easier. Because you haven't really, even if you have not filed a copyright, it's fine, because you already have an implicit copyright. First. Secondly, copyright is a worldwide right. It's not just a right in your own country. Trademark is a country-specific right. Copyright is a worldwide right. So use the copyright method of going after the counterfeit. So I want to give you these 2 tips for going after the counterfeit. Coming to Brandon now. Brandon, if you can put his cameras again on. Thank you. Yes.
Got it.
Yeah. So we have seen that the damage is much more than you actually have thought of. Are you able to assess the damage that is being caused due to the knockoffs? Every month, how much you're losing because of them? Do you know how many sites are there? How many fake listings are there which are just in the US, because they might be selling in Japan, Korea, China, just in the US. How many fake listings are there which are selling your coffee without your permission?
That we're aware, probably 20 to 24.
2024. All right. So you know what? A lot of our clients give us these 2-digit numbers, and when our crawler crawls the web, we're able to get 3 digits, 4 digits number, because the crawler is meant to crawl and check for the same images, the same trademark, and is able to pull out these listings and say, you know what, somebody is selling the 787 coffee. Are you aware about it? And then you will say, oh no, I'm not. So a lot of these listings will come in our search once we unleash our software to go out and crawl the web. Wonderful. So Brandon, one more question. Now, do you have a department in your company which deals with all this counterfeit, or does the CEO like yourself has to get involved? Who should be doing this in your company? My question is, who should be doing this in your company?
Right now, we do through a vendor. It's a contract vendor.
Yes. Who deals with the vendor?
I'm sorry?
Who deals with the vendor?
An internal person, someone who within the company. It's like an office crew.
So a lot of our clients are now trying to appoint somebody even in-house who would manage and deal with the vendor as well. Or it will take away the time of the founder. And so if I ask you, Brandon, where do you spend your time across the day? What are the focus areas?
Ask the question again, sorry.
Where do you spend your time in a day? What is your focus area? Where do you spend your time every day in your company?
Me personally?
Yes.
Running an operation, growing, making sure we have coffee, making sure we have customers, making sure social media is doing a good job, consistency, meetings.
Okay. And how big, according to you, is this problem for you in your business? Is this something that you can ignore, or something that you want to really handle today?
I think we handle it already. I think we do a good job. Like I said at the beginning, I don't think it's a problem for us as a service. If you're in technology, maybe. For us as service, not really.
Okay, interesting. Thank you so much, Brandon. Thank you very much. Coming back to Mike. Mike, you mentioned on your site that these candles are being built with a lot of passion, a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm. It takes days to build these candles. Do these people who are building these candles, do they know that there are knockoffs out there, and you are trying to kill the counterfeit, and you are taking action against them? Do the people know in the background that their products are being copied?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the whole company knows exactly the specifics of everything that we're doing, but we do cover that in quarterly company-wide meetings. Different counterfeits that we've seen, different things and actions that we're taking. So I think everybody is assured that like we're not just going to stand by and let everybody rip us off, right? But I don't think they know the specifics of how we handle it or what counterfeits are out there.
What about competition? So knockoff is one, competition is two. How do you deal with competition? Do they also keep stealing your ideas or products, let's say, in getting inspired from your product, because you do a lot of innovation in your candles?
Yeah, so for well-known brands to knock us off, it's a lot less regular of an occurrence, right? I think it's kind of an unwritten rule that any brand that respects another brand, you don't go with a direct knockoff. We have customers all the time that ask us to, oh, can you make a candle look just like this? And we're like, absolutely not. If you like that candle, then you need to go with that company, right? Because we respect that brand. We respect what they're bringing to the marketplace. And so we don't see it a whole lot with respectable, small or mid-size brands in our sector of the marketplace. What we do see is products that are pretty close, right? And in that case, we just have to make sure that our messaging to our customers shows why our products are better.
Interesting. Messaging is very important for every business. I'll come to Kate. Kate, how are you communicating with your client? What messages? What is your messaging for your client? How do you position yourself, which differentiates you from the competitors, and that attracts your clients?
Yeah, for us, we are an active recovery shoe, and what we differentiate on is our technology, which is very specific, our foam technology and our patented footbed, which is what's going to differentiate from any other product on the market. So we focus on that and making sure we communicate it through emails, content on the site, videos, potentially, just ways so customers understand what that is and what the benefit is for them.
Mm-hmm. Are you selling on your website as well as on marketplaces, or are you restricted only to website?
We sell on our website. We also are on other marketplaces.
What are the advantages of not selling on others' marketplaces? What are the advantages of just restricting your products to your website?
Well, we don't do that. We do sell on other marketplaces.
Yeah. So, but in the future, a lot of people are now contemplating of not selling on Amazon, not selling on other marketplaces, but restricting the product sale on their own website. Do you see any advantage doing that?
Yeah, I think it's the brand loyalty you can get from the customers, the brand recognition, the brand awareness with that. And also just being able to offer them a bigger breadth of products than you would across other marketplaces.
Great. So do you see that happening in your company in the future?
I think everything's open for the future.
Okay. Steve, coming to you, what technologies, what tools do you use on your site to better understand the customer persona?
I mean, Kate runs our e-commerce. She's better apt at answering that question than I am.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so we would look at, we can look at who the split of the demographic that we're getting to our site. We can also work with our partners in digital marketing to understand who it is we're targeting and who it is we're getting to the site based on our advertising. So through our campaigns that we're running.
So you do email campaign and you do a lot of social media campaigns for getting the right clients on your site?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So Mike, do you sell on Amazon?
Okay, I want to make sure I wasn't muted. Sorry. Yes, we do. We sell on Amazon, but we have recently, in the last 6 months, gone to an exclusive customer of ours that is a well-known brand, reputable brand that carries a lot of, I would say, equal brands in their store on Amazon. And we've given them exclusivity for that marketplace because they're helping us patrol the marketplace. They're helping us make sure that there's no, discounts that weren't approved by the manufacturer, make sure that the products are being sold at MSRP, and also helping us remove, those lower tier products.
So if somebody is searching for a candle, let's say a botanical candle on Amazon, your candle will pop up along with other candles. Do you think selling on Amazon is sometimes hurting you because people who come to know about your designs, your products, perhaps is hurting you more than it's giving you?
I don't think the cons outweigh the pros at this point. I can see where there could be a situation where that would happen, but for a small company like us, we need to get our products in front of as many people as possible, right? We need to make sure that our story is being heard by as many people as possible and that our messaging is being communicated as many times as possible. So yes, you open yourself up to the risk there of people seeing it and then trying to go through and knock it off or copy it or whatever it may be. But at the moment, I think that there are still enough consumers, our digital consumers online, that are so loyal to Amazon that not having the products on there would be a mistake as far as growth goes.
Interesting. Yes,
there are more and more consumers switching over to, brand websites. And of course, we love when people come to our website because you gain them as a customer and you can add them to your marketing tools and whatnot. But there's still too much of the population that's loyal to Amazon.
Mm-hmm. Correct. What kind of sale? So are you on Amazon and your own website? Are you on any other marketplace?
For direct to consumer, that's pretty much it. We do have some other third-party marketplaces that are much, much smaller that you've likely never heard of. But that is more of like a drop shipping arrangement where we protect the brand, they act as a customer and just kind of send us the sales orders and then we fulfill them. But Amazon would be the only one of that sort of nature.
And if I ask you, what's your traffic distribution or your sale distribution between your site and Amazon?
Our site's much, much higher, probably 2 or 3 times.
2 or 3 times. So I would, let's say about Amazon will be about 20% and South site will be about 80%.
Yeah, I would say that's accurate off the top of my head.
Okay. Wonderful. So Mike, have you tried filing your trademark in the US and other countries?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been filed for the last 20 plus years in a couple of Asian countries and then the United States as well as in the UK.
Are you shipping across the world?
Mm-hmm.
Could you find ever, let's say you were searching your candle online. Did you ever encounter counterfeit yourself? Did you try to order a counterfeit product yourself?
Oh yeah. Every time we see one, we order it so we can inspect the quality and see if we can tell who it's coming from. Unfortunately, a lot of counterfeit products don't follow ASTM standards, so the labeling doesn't have all of the information that we need on it.
Okay, so you order them.
Yeah, we always order them ourselves.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, my last question will be for Brandon. So, Brandon, if you can tell us, what are you doing when you, let's say, do you order counterfeit coffee yourself? And what actions do you take once you know that somebody is selling 787 counterfeit coffee?
I'm so sorry, I really had to go at 11:30 my time. I haven't ordered. I really haven't. Like I said, we don't put a lot of time on the counterfeit today. And I do order a lot of coffees from a lot of other places to kind of see what's out there. But I really believe what we make it's different. And if they copy the bag, it's cool. I know the content that's inside is different. And also, I think Kate said it very well when she talked about like the brand and the identity of 787. We focus most of our time connecting with humans. We're not huge on digital precisely for that reason. So understanding the battles that you win and the battles that you lose is also important for us. So we know we're not going to compete with Starbucks when it comes to like location and branding and marketing and the budget they have. We will compete with having local service, being a part of a community, and having the freshest cup of coffee. So because we're for human by human, we are a company that focuses on creating experiences in a brick and mortar. We have a really hard time growing digitally. We haven't focused a lot of time, one, for the problem that we're facing today, what you've been talking about, what I hear from my colleagues here, and two, because it's very hard for us to quantify the human success on a digital platform. Things that we do that are different are, for example, the roaster. We like to have the signature of the roaster saying, hey, I roasted this coffee on so-and-so date, and have a physical signature. So when you get your package, you get to see either a photo and a personalized message of the roaster, and that gives it a little bit more for human by human touch. But for us, there's a lot of great options when it comes to coffee experiences on Amazon. We've stepped down big time. We just quit Etsy. That's not the route. That's not who we are. We are a from farm to cup coffee experience. We are a for human by human coffee experience. And we like to create experiences. We believe people get together over a cup of coffee as the excuse, but it's more than likely because they want to connect with humans. We see a lot of our humans that drink coffee with us in New York. they are working in a computer all day long. So when they go to one of our coffee shops, it's the only interaction they have with a human. So we try to make the best out of it. We educate and we tell them where the coffee's from, the altitude, the notes, why they're paying a little bit more, because it's single origin. It's not a blend. It didn't go to immigration. It goes on a plane directly from Puerto Rico here. So we haven't been really, really successful. And I don't think that's not where 787 is going today, of growing digitally. I really believe that services and technology and that sort of thing, it's great. But more than ever, people need places to connect and to gather and live an experience. The fact that we have a farm and we can share photos of a she roast, a female roaster, the fact that we have plants, we try to put swings in every single coffee shop. The coffee you're going to drink, it's only the excuse. So no, I have not purchased counterfeit coffee. Not interested in wasting any of my time in understanding what my competitors are. I have 24 hours and I sleep 4, and I'm working all the time creating magic for the people that pay my salary, which are my consumers. So not wasting any time understanding what they're doing. Like I said, we have a group of people and a vendor. They do research. They give us a data that we analyze on a monthly basis. We analyze data. We see if it's a problem. Right now, we don't think it's a problem. If we're losing money, I think Louis Vuitton and Gucci said it very well. When I can go to Chinatown today here in New York City, or I can go to Times Square and I can see someone selling a bag. I don't think it's a problem. I don't think they're really losing money. I don't think Louis Vuitton and Gucci are losing money, because the consumer that are buying in Chinatown or in Times Square, it's completely different than the human that's going to Fifth Avenue to experience, to see the new thing, to try it, to say it, to get a glass of champagne. Completely different audience, completely different market. I think people that buy coffee online, it's great. Get a subscription, try coffees from all over the world, educate your palate, great. But if you're looking for an experience, that's where we come in. And that's what we do. We do right now, we're in Puerto Rico and in New York only, hopefully soon in Florida. And as we continue to grow, the reason I agreed to being here, I wanted to see perspective. What are we facing? But I don't think that's a problem today. What we do cannot be replicated. For one, we care. For two, we understand who the real boss is. The CEO is only a title. We understand that consumers pay, and we want to give them value. And it goes well. It's been working. In only 3 years, we've grown tremendously. And I think it's only because we really do care about the consumer instead of focusing on who's copying our coffee bag. Not important to us.
That's a great perspective again, Brandon. Thank you so much. I would let you go since you have a meeting right now. Thank you so much for your time. Brandon, Mike, Steve, Ellie, Kate, thank you very much for your time today. Really appreciate talking to you. We will be, this video is currently being live streamed on multiple places. We'll also send you the snippets of this video and we'll post this online. Thank you so much again for your time, and appreciate talking to you. Thank you very much. Have a great day ahead.
Everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye, guys.
You as well. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, Kate. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.